Sweet. Sorry about that, you guys. Now we're back in business. Okay, so hey, advanced influence persuasion, right? How many of you guys are stoked and excited about this topic, right? As entrepreneurs, I think it's really, really important. So first and foremost, again, so here's what we're going to talk about. But before that, I know we have a lot of people here for the first time, maybe. You know, if you're here for the first time, you're like, what the heck is going on over here? You guys, my name is Vic Strizius. I'm the founder of the company called 4% Group. All right, and I've been in this industry for about 13 years now, going on 13 years since 2005. A lot of you know me. How many of you guys are from the 4% Group here? Give me like a heart. Give me like a say I'm a 4%, or give me something here. Tell me that you're here from the 4%. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about some things that are very, very powerful for entrepreneurs, for marketers specifically. If you want to become somebody who is, who can command response, right? Who can command response. So, I wanted to do something that's a little bit different, something that's, a little bit unique, and that's pretty cool. I've done everything over the last 13 years from promoting other people's products. Started out greener than green. A lot of you guys know my story. Not going to get into this, but this is for the new people that have no idea who, what we're talking about here. In this industry, I got into the, direct sales response, kind of a marketplace in 2005. And failed until I started to succeed, and until somebody came into my life and started to teach me how to do this kind of stuff, right? And I've done since then everything from affiliate marketing to creating my own trainings and teaching people how to do what I do. Promoted network marketing company, build teams, and did a whole bunch of cool things. Obviously had my ups, had my downs, and had my fair share of failures and tremendous successes as well. Created campaigns that did literally, I think one of them did like 3.7 million in 5 days for one of the companies. It's a campaign I put together. Another one, we did a campaign that pulled in over 500,000 members into this group that we had. This was not too long ago, in a matter of about 90 days, right? Now, the reason I'm telling you all this stuff is because as somebody who is in this industry, right, if you really want to make if you want to do some things that are like massive, right, there are some things that you need to understand. And, obviously there's traffic generation, there's the whole structure of your campaigns, and stuff that we teach, stuff that I've been teaching, and, a lot of you guys have been following our work, and I appreciate that. That's awesome. Another part that I mentioned that we're going to cover today is this thing called influence, right? So if you are watching this is literally like a continuation of a program or a training series that I'm doing free, to the free world. I've got nothing to sell to you tonight. This is just a hangout. You, me, I have somebody I'm going to be bringing on here in just a few minutes. Literally a powerhouse. When you talk about influence, I cannot think of anybody who is more powerful, more persuasive, more influential, and creates more influencers, right, in the space than the guy that I'm going to introduce you to. But, very quick backstory, right? I'll tell you how I came across this person, how, what it did to my business, and really, what I talk about tonight, I believe can make a huge, giant difference for your business. If you're promoting affiliate stuff, if you're, creating, your own products and selling your own products, that kind of stuff. So, in 2012, okay, before I tell you what happened in 2012, let me tell you where we are today, just to give you a big picture here, right? This is part 3 of the series called Becoming a Powerful Promoter. Okay, if you're not interested in becoming a powerful promoter in what you do in your industry, this is not for you. You're going to be wasting your time. But if you are interested in becoming a powerful promoter, not like somebody that's average or mediocre, if you want to become, if you want to crush it, promotions, selling whatever it is that you're selling, then this stuff will really, really help you. And it doesn't cost you a dime. Let me tell you the reason we're doing this is because in 2017 and beyond, right, this is courtesy of the 4%. Our mission, okay, our vision is we said, everybody's trying to sell you stuff. What if we took a different approach? What if we help? What if our vision was just literally be like irrational about some of this stuff, right? And so our vision right now for 2017 is expansion. And we're we're currently, pushing 50,000 members here in the 4% group and growing by like 2,000 to 3,000 new members daily. It's insane. So we're on a mission to impact as many people, as many entrepreneurs as possible. And we believe that the only way I can help you is by actually, helping you and being genuine and real about it, right? Not beating around the bush, not trying to get you, not trying to bait and switch on you, but tell you like it is. And we believe in transparency, and that's exactly why we're here. And I wanted to provide, bring these trainings to you. If you attended our last webinar or the last, live stream that I did, we talked about traffic. We talked about some of the advanced, like getting how do you attract people into your world, right? How do you attract people onto your list? How do you get people and build your list? Now that you have people come into your list, right? If you have 50 subscribers or 5 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers, how do you influence them? How do you talk to them and take that group of people or that person and turn them into somebody that can become a customer and then somebody that can become a loyal fan and follower of yours for life, right? And it's become, it's really, really cool stuff. Being magnetic, Terrell's saying, yep. Love transparent, Vic tries this, okay? Guys, the only thing I'm going to ask in return of you is if you like this kind of stuff, communicate with me, share this stuff, you let us know what you feel, how you think about this, and that's the only thing I'm asking for you, okay? So check it out. I started out in this industry. I'll give you guys a story that I don't talk about publicly a lot. I don't think I've ever I ever mentioned this before. But this has been a big stepping stone in my success as an entrepreneur. So I started out broker than broke, right? It's 2005. So since 2005 to 2009, I was grinding. I was like grinding like crazy. I was working and I was making good money, right? In 2009, a lot of you guys know that story. I'm not going to get into the details. I had my big crash as an entrepreneur on the internet, right? I literally had to rebuild everything from scratch due to some of the crazy and stupid things I did when I was a kid. Had to pay for it. Best thing that ever happened to me, although I would never, ever, ever, ever wanted to go back and do it again, right? But what happened was since 2009, 2010, I started to have my breakthroughs that forever changed my marketing, right? And of course, we talked about, this stuff and I gave you the details on that. Here's what I want to point out though. About 2012, I think it was, right? I get introduced to this guy, right? This guy by the name of Dave. Never heard of him before, but I was seeing guys like that I was following, right? Some of the top entrepreneurs that I was following in this space. Russell Brunson, for example, you guys might know, current founder of ClickFunnels. Some of the people I was really, really looking up to. Rich Schefren was the guy that was I was learning a lot at that time from, right? And so all these people had one thing in common, I noticed. They went to see this guy by the name of Dave Van Hoos, right, over in Florida. So, and then I went to a conference. It was a ClickBank conference. I remember it clearly because that was like, when something happens, or something like a big event happens to in your life, you remember things, right? So I remember it was a ClickBank conference that I've attended because, I was a ClickBank power seller at that time. We were promoting, ClickBank products, and I got invited to this conference by ClickBank, and so we had a lot of fun there. And I meet this guy, Dustin Matthews, who is also, a partner of Dave's, I think. And Dave can give us a little bit more details on that, maybe. And so, I got to know these guys, right? And so, and I realized that these guys are playing the game at the next level in terms of persuasion, influence, communication, presenting your message, in front of the crowd. So I talked to them, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we got this thing called Power Day, and it's 10 grand, and you come and you pay the 10 grand, and we work with you, and we give you coaching, we give you guidance, and that kind of stuff." I'm like, very, very attractive, right? But 10 grand. By the way, we're not here to sell you the 10K package, Relax. If you like this, relax, man. This is my story. This is how I came across this thing, So I went back home. I'm like, dude, I got this bug, right? So I want to go to the next level. So I understand as an entrepreneur, for me to go to the next level, I've got to do things that I haven't done before. Can you guys relate to that? And so I call up Dave and I'm like, "Hey man, I am thinking about possibly coming to your deal, right? Give me more details." So we got talking, and anyway, so long story short, I don't remember what month it was, but it was 2012. I took a leap of faith, closed my eyes, did not know what to expect, and I forked out the $10,000, did a wire transfer, a check, I don't remember. Paid these guys the 10 grand, flew out to Tampa, Florida, right? And walked into their office, spent one day with them. And when I left, I left with a whole bunch of just my head was like spinning. But there was one thing that I took away from it was this piece of paper. It was a giant piece of paper. It was like this. Some of you guys might have seen it. I showed it I think one time in one of the videos. And it was the blueprint, right? And it was a blueprint, the presentation blueprint. The piece of paper was maybe like, I don't know, maybe $1, maybe 50 cents worth, right? For like the actual paper, what it's worth. But what was on it right? That's what I paid 10 grand for. Now, went back, started to apply what I learned in just one day, right? And it was basically, I learned how to present on webinars, right? So there's like a scientific formula to presenting whatever it is that you're selling, whether you're selling a cell phone or a cup or a Kangen water or, your program, whatever it is. And there was like a formula, right? So I'm like, skeptically, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just follow it to the T and see what happens, right? Sure enough, so I applied, I built up my slides following that formula. $64,000 in like an hour. 64 grand in sales, just like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what just happened here? It's 2012. So that was my big breakthrough. And ever since that day, those of you guys who have been following me, I've been referring to this from time to time. I kind of hinted, kind of following that blueprint, and I taught a little bit about it, bits and pieces of it. I've never ever publicly brought this information out. But today, still to this date, when I, do if I want to do like a formal presentation, a lot of time when I'm just like this, right, there was like, we're just hanging out, right? But if I want to do like a formal structured, presentation, I always refer back to that blueprint and I just build it around that, and it crushes things. I use that to, to bring in, we put together campaigns that were just mind-blowing. So you guys, who is excited, right, to learn this kind of stuff, to learn what I literally paid $10,000 for? Because what I wanted to do is I contacted them. I'm like, hey man, here's what we're doing with the 4%. So you guys are 4%ers. You know what we're doing, right? So we're bringing tremendous value to the group. But we wanted to, on behalf of the 4%, to the entire marketplace, we said, you know what? We wanted to serve people at the level that nobody else is serving them, because everybody's talking about smoke and mirrors, right? Everybody's talking about theories and, some stuff that's like way out there. How can you learn, influence strategies that are like simple, that you can get, right? You can apply today in your marketing, you're communicating with your list, email, or, when you're talking to people or group of people, that you can get a result that you want, right? And so if you're excited, right, I invited the Dave, right, the man that helped me, literally change the way I was presenting forever. Moving to the future, this is like I'm following this stuff and it just gets better and better and better. So I wanted to bring him on. Obviously, we're going to be doing some very, very interesting things with Dave, inside for you guys, for 4% group members. There's going to be some mind-blowing stuff coming in that you will see. But right now, I called Dave up. I'm like, hey man, let's do a webinar together. Let's just like overwhelm the marketplace with coolness, actionable, ideas that can turn into results, right? Money in their bank account when they apply it, and let's not charge a dime for it. Let's not sell anything. Let's show, let's put our, our actions where our mouth is, if you will, right? And serve this, this marketplace. And then if you guys want to check out what we're doing with the 4%, if you're not a 4% group member, if you want to check us out, you can join us at no cost, no credit card required. We're on the mission of expansion right now. You guys, we're going to hit 1 million people plus. We want to change lives, and I want to help you by showing you that I can help you, not just talking about it, right? So whatever I say, I've got nothing to sell to you today. You will get tremendous value. All I'm asking for you is be here, be present, and take this for what it's worth for you. You know what? You might go out there and make $1 million. You guys, look, Dave Van Hoos, right, is somebody who is, he's not an ordinary man. He's not somebody that, just like another guru out there. This guy, as you will see, is somebody that is worth getting a big notepad, right? Because you're going to take a lot of notes. He's trained some people that you might know, Robert Allen, my goodness, some of the biggest names in celebrities, Rich Schefren, myself, all the top name marketers that you can think of right now, all went through his trainings about influence and persuasion. Let's see, Les Brown to the Shark Tank, people, Kevin, what's his name? Kevin, the Shark Tank. My guy, escapes me right now. Let me just go do this one thing. I said, Dave, give me your, you got this introduction video of who you are, your work, what do you guys do out there, right? You guys want me to play the video, right? I think this is, let's go ahead and start with that. And then I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to talk about persuasion, we're going to talk about influence stuff, and it's going to be advanced material, okay? If you are pumped, okay, let me hear ya, and I'm going to play this video. Let me see if I can make this work, okay? Check this out. This is the man that you're about to hear from. So don't take this lightly. This is powerful. Here we go.
There is a secretive underground force who the nation's leading closers, info marketers, and speakers turn to when they need to close.
Selling is a simple, easy system.
Known to some as the Speaker's Dream Team, they are changing the way business is conducted via stage and webinar. If you desire to increase sales, change lives, and spread your message, then you need Speaking Empire. Dustin Matthews.
I show entrepreneurs how to make more money by reaching more people and doing it in less time.
Known for creating market-pace frenzies that drive people to buy products en masse.
Just by tweaking this one thing alone can dramatically change things.
Dustin publishes the most widely read offline newsletter for speakers and promoters, Dirty Talk, and has marketed over 300 events, seminars and boot camps, generating over $18 million in sales over the course of a year. Taking his strategies to the web, he ran 20 online product launches for over $10 million in sales.
So marketing has been a journey and a passion for me.
With over 3,000 presentations under his belt, Dave Van Hoos is considered one of the top closers in the world. With a credit card and a vision, Dave took his seminar company to number 35 on the Inc. 500 list, with over $20 million in sales.
You're going to be able to get more customers, serve more clients, get more cash flow into your business, increase your profitability, and build a scalable, sellable business.
Known for his unique ability to take anyone's product and sell it from the platform with less than 24 hours notice, he is one of the handful of people that has been able to replicate themselves, training a team of speakers to get the same results. Now, for the very first time, Dave is revealing his strategies for closing. Now, welcome to the stage, Speaking Empires.
Come on, everybody,
Mr.
let's
Dave
welcome
Van Hoos.
Mr. Dave Van Hoos. How's that for an introduction? My goodness, man. Hey, you guys, let me see here. Let me bring Mr. Dave. How are you, my friend? Welcome to the show.
I am doing awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, Dave, it's an honor and privilege to be, to bring you here to this platform, to bring you to the, obviously, definitely, some things that we're doing, with the 4% here, and for our members is going to be incredible, next level stuff. We're going to do some things that nobody else will be able to touch, right? Definitely. But here tonight, we have a lot of people here. I think over 700 people and counting. Everybody's pumped, man. Everybody's eager to hear from the man, Dave Van Hoos, and what you've done. So thanks for coming on, Dave. Thanks for taking your time. I know you're busy all the time.
Well, Vic, I'm excited and challenged. Excited because over the next hour, we're going to share with them persuasion and influence at a whole nother level.
Yeah.
In fact, what we're going to show them is a simple, easy process and a system that they're going to be able to take away to increase sales, increase the emotional connection they have with their audience, and we're going to share people how to change a lot of lives. Challenge because we have such a limited time, it's going to go by like this.
Well, here's the thing, man. I know that when we talk about, I can talk about about me, right? The stuff that we're going to be covering, and I know what we're going to be talking about is influence persuasion topic mainly. Advanced strategies that really nobody else teaching out there. And time is going to fly, man. You guys are going to be super excited. So if you guys are watching this, take a lot of notes. This is not like there is a specific outcome that we have here, which is to deliver to you ideas that you can implement, actionable ideas, and Dave is the master at that kind of stuff. But Dave, maybe before we start, man, a little bit about your background. I know that what you're doing is crushing right now, and I don't know if you're going to get into that yourself, but I would really, somebody who doesn't know maybe who you are, where you're coming from, all that stuff. How did you get your start? Maybe take us back and give us a snapshot how you got to be where you are today, and some of the people you're working with. I'm not sure if you have that, any of that information that you can share, but I know it's incredible. The biggest portfolio that I've ever seen from anybody.
Yeah, real quick, I want to share quick of how I learned this system. And one of the big things is that, when I look back at my life, it's like I connect the dots backwards. So I went to school at Eastern Michigan, and I got my degree in sports medicine, Vic.
Right.
And I studied kinesiology, muscle movement. I studied anatomy, cadavra, and I studied the body. And I became a therapist. And then from there, I became a professional football trainer. And so I got to travel around the world. And unfortunately in life, you know, sometimes there's situations that cause us to have to reinvent ourselves. I got hurt and I had to reinvent myself. And I was very challenged at that moment. And I was, you know, challenged. So I went down to the courthouse in Clearwater, Florida, and I saw a foreclosure auction. And I had this idea. And I wanted to start this business. So I had a brilliant idea that was going to help people save time, energy, and money, Vic.
Yeah.
And I put my credit card out, and I paid this company to launch this membership community. And I launched it the first month. Guess how many customers I got?
Probably not many. Yeah.
I thought if you had a good idea, customers would show up.
Right.
So I did what most entrepreneurs do. I made the product better. I launched it the second month. Guess how many customers I got?
Similar, huh? Double zero.
So I had to ask the question, how do you get a customer?
Yeah.
Right? And so I used the 6-foot rule. Do you know what the 6-foot rule is?
Anybody you see around you within 6 feet, you talk to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I use that strategy, but business is very challenging and difficult. In fact, it's like taking a boulder, a big boulder, and trying to roll it up a mountain. And so what I want to talk to people about is leverage points, of how to use leverage. And that being said, I had this idea. I'm like, why am I selling one-to-one? Why don't I sell one to many? So I did my first seminar in a Denny's restaurant, and I invited people to come to a lunch and learn. And Vic, I did my presentation, and guess how many customers I got that first presentation?
Well, probably not much, yeah.
I thought if you went up there and you taught and you did your presentation and showed your product, that people wanted. So I almost quit, but then I figured out there's got to be a system. There's got to be a mathematical formula. So here's what's interesting. I made a couple small tweaks in my presentation, and I did it again, and I made $50,000. So for me, one of the things that we learned in this business is small little strategies and tweaks make the needle move in your business and your life. You know, so that's one of the biggest things we want to share with people, are what are the small tweaks, the actionable things that you can do that will move the needle so that you can live a better life, have more time and freedom. And so for me, Vic, real quick, my business became successful. I started speaking twice a day, 5 days a week. I was speaking at lunch and at dinner, testing what color shirt to wear, what color tie to wear. How do you do your presentation? How do you deliver your presentation? What is the mathematical formula of how do you write a presentation? And so for me, I did over 3,000 presentations, and I cracked the code, and within 3 years, I grew my company, Inc. 500, as the 35th fastest growing company in the United States of America, all because I had what I call a signature talk, a presentation, a message that converted.
So Dave, question for you though, and again, this is totally raw. I mean, we're not like, we're just going to go with the flow and see where this goes, right? I'm going to try to pull as much information as possible from you, right? As much value, like for me personally. So if I was a complete beginner, right, it would be like, so, you know, you're talking about small tweaks. Is this something that you just came up with yourself? I mean, you're talking about, you know, testing the collar tie you wore, the shirt collar, all of this stuff. Did somebody teach you that? Is this just like common sense ideas that came to you that you started testing on?
Well, that's really interesting. That's a great question, Vic. You know, for me, I had a great opportunity. I was speaking to the same type of people at lunch, and then at dinner, similar people would come. So I was selling the same product, and so I noticed that when I wore a different suit, the outcome changed dramatically. If I wore a tie, it changed. If I picked up my product at a certain time, it changed. And what happened to me is that I started to figure out that different things. So I want everybody to write this down. Every single thing affects the close. And you can walk out of that presentation with 2 sales or $50,000 worth of sales. You're doing the same amount of time, but it's different strategies. And for me, I kept testing, and I became, I guess, obsessed of what causes people to not walk to the back, not even run to the back, but how do you get people to dance to the back of the room, what I call the Pied Piper close, to buy your product or service. And I became the #1 or #2 best selling speaker in the world. And then from there, I decided to start a new business called Speaking Empire, and I started training all the top speakers in the world. And you know, all the who's are my student, as you know. And some of these folks, as I share with my students, they'll know who the majority of these speakers are.
Yeah. So 3,000 presentations, and you got it down to a science.
Yes, that anybody can do. I wanted to create a simple, easy system, which we're going to take in a moment, and we're going to break this down right here live, something I've never done before on Facebook Live, step by step. And like you said, people pay me. Back then, they used to pay me $10,000 per day of my time. Obviously, it's a lot more today because that was back in 2012. So we're going to break down exactly what I teach that I charge way more than $10,000 today.
So Dave, awesome, man. So let's talk about this stuff. You guys excited? Who's excited here? You guys watching this? Literally, if you're watching this like live right now, as you know, tons of people are, hundreds and hundreds of people, or if you're watching this as a, maybe you're watching this as a replay, let me know if you're excited, okay? Dave, why don't we just go ahead and get into this? By the way, you guys appreciate the shares, appreciate the wow, pow faces, the hearts, all that stuff is good. The only thing I'm going to ask in return of you is that you pay attention, be present, because this is for you. It's not for me, man. I already paid my 10 grand. I already got my knowledge. I'm already applying this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already doing this, and it's getting me the blueprint that I got, that Dave, you're gonna, I assume you're gonna go over that, stuff, it made me millions, like multiple millions of dollars. It made, I applied that to launch campaigns and did presentations for other companies that generated multiple millions of dollars for them. So incredible stuff. So, all right, Dave, let's go ahead and dive into this, brother, if you don't mind. Walk us through this. What do you think is important? I know we can take this in like a million different directions. And the way that, if we can, maybe let's start from maybe like the beginner, maybe the 10,000 foot overview, like a picture, give us the landscaping here. And then if you don't mind, let's start here and kind of see where it goes. We'll see what, where we are with the time and everything. If we need to do like a part 2, maybe I can persuade you using your own strategies.
Well, let me ask you this question. So Vic, when you came to my Power Day, when I helped you build out your presentation using this presentation blueprint that we're going to go over in a moment,
yeah,
some of the ahas or some of the things that you learn that you can share with the group, and then we're going to dive down, and I'm going to walk through step by step here in a moment.
Well, there is presenting what I got from myself, right, is again, never guessing. Right, so what I've got was like literally like a blueprint. It's like a recipe, like to bake a whatever, like a pie or a cake. Or I'm a terrible baker. My wife is awesome at that. But if she cooks this cake and she puts in this amount of ingredients at this order, at this proportion, this many, and she stirs it for so long and whatever, right? And it bakes for a certain amount of time. Well, to me, just like anything, there's a formula, and if there's a formula, that's what I've got, and so I followed that. Now, there was another big aha for me that was the entire posture. Like, when you present this part, or when you're talking about this part, what's your emotion? Because all of us know that words are only so it's like, what is it, 7% of meaning? What people actually get, it's like 7% of what you say. What is that, Dave? Like your body language and your your nonverbal communication, it's like, it's like tremendous. It's like 80% or something like that, crazy. And so that's what I've got, is how do you do that, right? And how do you do it in a way that's genuine, that you being yourself, and most importantly, connecting with the audience that you're talking to at the level that is almost like a heart-to-heart connection, if you will, because that's what people like, you're just speaking directly to their hearts, and they get with you. That was the biggest thing for me, and my goodness, did it work.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of people out there that might be selling a product or service. And one of the things I want to share with you is a blueprint, a system, so that you can connect, what I call congruent communication.
Yep.
And you can connect emotionally with the crowd. I want everybody to write this down. All buying decisions are based on emotion, backed by logic. And one of the things that this blueprint will do is show you how do you emotionally move the audience. And what I want to share with people is persuasion and influence. And I want to teach people a whole different way to look at that here in a moment. So Vic, what I want to do, I want to share my screen because I want to get to work. I want to show people this technology and how they can use it in their business, in their life.
That would be awesome, my friend. That would be awesome. You guys excited?
I'm excited. So before I begin, I want to ask a couple questions. One, I want to ask, let's ask everybody, Vic, what...
Dave, you want to expand it full screen for me, bro?
What'd you say?
Yeah, if you want to go full screen, that'd be awesome. There you go. Cool.
So one of the things I want to ask real quick, because I want to kind of learn a little bit of who's on here and how we can serve and how we can help people the most. So real quick, I just want everybody to kind of go and just type in, what industry are you in, or what product or service do you sell? So I can show you some strategies that you can take here so that you can absolutely double your sales, guaranteed. I promise you by the end of this training that you will absolutely guarantee double your sales. In fact, everybody that comes to my training goes, oh my gosh, I left so much money on the table. And I'm talking the best of the best of the best. People that teach sales training, people that teach speaking training, people that teach you how to do webinars. And Vic will tell you this, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm their coach. They're just basically reteaching what they learned from me to other people. So that being said, what product or service are you selling? Do you sell a high-end coaching program? Do you sell a mastermind? Do you sell a franchise? Are you selling house? So real quick, what are you selling? So Vic, take a look. Can you tell me what people are selling?
Are you seeing these comments, Dave?
No, I'm not right now.
4% academics, affiliate, a lot of affiliate marketers here, brother. People selling jewelry, people selling affiliate, again, a lot of affiliate marketers here on the line, looks like. Small businesses, coaching for small businesses is what I see. Let's see, what else? I'm literally looking at you guys here, you know, on my phone. This is awesome. Life coaching, there you go. Affiliate marketing, Shopify, okay, small business, 4%, a lot of... yeah, so a lot of people selling a lot of different things, man. Just different markets, seems like, different industries.
Is that if you're in the internet marketing industry or the network marketing industry, the top performers are my students. And I'm going to share with you some secrets of what I shared with them of how they got to the 4%. In fact, it's a beautiful conversation. So I'm going to talk to you today about really how to sell more. Now, before I begin, I really have 4 rules before I begin, Vic. Rule number 1, is it okay with everybody if we have fun? And what I mean by that, life's about fun, right? We're here on Facebook. We want to have a lot of fun. In fact, The more fun you have, the more you're going to learn. So before I begin, if you're ready to have some fun, just put yes, Dave, right now in the chat. And Vic, I don't want to start this until we get everybody to say yes, they're ready to have some fun.
Everybody say, well, tell us, you guys. I mean, if you want to have some fun, go ahead and say it in the comments. This is one thing I love about this, you know, kind of platform is there's interaction going on, and this is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like interacting, connecting with people, and just having that two-way communication street is really awesome.
And rule number 2 is I promise to give you 110%. In fact, what I teach these individuals, I charge more than $10,000 today. 10,000 is back in the day. I'm going to play full out. I'm going to answer all of your questions. I'm going to share with you behind the scenes of the speaking info business. Making sense? So I'm going to share with you that here in a moment. Also, my next rule is this is going to be an interactive training. In fact, the more you give to me, the more I'll give to you. So this is going to be interactive. You just came here to just listen and sit back. Vic, tell everybody to leave. Like, if you're not going to interact and you're not going to participate for this training and this experience, I would highly consider you to just, close down now. So it's going to be an interactive experience. In fact, one of the things I want to ask real quick before we begin, Vic, is all of us have goals for 2017. And we're all trying to grow our business, have more freedom and more time. So I want to ask this question. What is the number 1 challenge in your business right now? Because I want to make sure we go over this. What is the biggest challenge you're having with persuasion, influence, or in your business? So just go ahead and take the time right now And Vic, if you can just kind of share with me what the biggest challenges that people are facing so that we can make sure that we solve that before we're done with this training.
Yep, let's see. There's about a 20-second delay here. Let's take a look. It's going to be fun. All right. So you okay? Getting started. Okay. Getting started. I'm interacting. Paul says. Okay. Renee says I'm here. We're ready. Interactive. Yes. 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 Lots of goals for 2017. Okay. So what is your biggest challenge in terms of persuasion? Is that communication? Is that what you mean, Dave? Is it like communication? Is that presenting? Is that confidence? Is that like what is your guys' biggest?
I see a lot of challenges, which is people are doing webinars and they're not converting. You know, I see people that might be
conversion. Yeah, I see people are saying conversion, customer base, converting. You know, I'd say Dave, probably the biggest challenge for marketers in our space, and again, from doing this for 13 years now, it's getting I mean, a lot of people teach about how to build a list, and getting a list is really, really easy. It's not difficult, right? To get somebody on your list and build that list. Now, what do you do with that list? How do you communicate when you get on a webinar? I mean, nowadays, hangouts like this. Right? How do you talk to people when you have an idea and you want to present, or you have a product you want to present to the people, but you're getting shut down. You're like, my goodness, how do I do this? Where do I start? What do I talk about? How do I take and what's the flow? I think that probably be the biggest thing that the people are running into. Tell me. So it's converting converting people into customers, right? Converting your prospects into customers. Let's see, no money, no leads. Okay, traffic confidence. Some people are saying confidence. Okay, conversion into sales. Okay, getting people with money to buy is what people are saying. Conversion, sales, how to do it. So this is the kind of stuff now, Dave, that people are wanting to know.
So very nice. So the next rule that I have, and I'll make sure we answer all those questions here in a moment. My fourth rule before I begin is you got to take action. Until you take this information, then nothing's going to happen unless you take action. What successful people do that unsuccessful people don't do is successful people take this and take action. So I always come to serve. One of my rules is I always come to serve and give. In fact, one of my teachers, Yogananda, says, make service rather than money your goal, and you will see the entire plan of your life change. You will never be left out. In fact, it's in giving that you receive. In fact, Vic, what I want to do is I also want to give away I've got one of my best-selling books here. It's called Sell More, The Forbidden Secrets to Mass Persuasion. This book will change your life. In fact, you can't even go online and buy it. I only give this to my private clients. So I'll give some of these books out during our conversation for those people that are participating engaged. How's that sound, Vic?
Sounds good. Thank you.
So what I'm going to talk to you about before I bring this blueprint up, I want to talk about what I call the universal success principles, meaning that universal success principles, success leaves clues. Step number one, before I teach you persuasion influence, you got to believe it's possible for you. In fact, everything starts from the inside out. So you got to believe it's possible for you to make 7 figures, or you can make 8 figures like I did in 2014. Step number 2 in universal success principles is you got to model success. That's why you're here. If you model what other successful people do, you will become successful. So I want you to take a look at the model that I'm about to present to you. The next success principle is systems. Successful people use systems. And we're going to go over my system. The next success principle is leverage. You've got to create leverage points in your business. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. And you've got to take this one on, self-mastery. You've got to always continue to improve yourself, improve your business. And then the last one is you've got to take action. Now, there's a big problem that I see, Vic. And the big problem that I see is there's a lot of businesses out there. And in fact, typically, the Small Business Association says, Vic, that the average small business owner only makes $44,000 in a year. So, and get this statistic, Vic, 70% of people who have a business report that they don't have enough time with their children, right? And which is a sad thing. Most people start a business to have freedom. And in fact, 82% of people who have a business check their email while on vacation. 95% of people who have a business work more hours than they did if they had a job. 60% report on being on the verge of a serious nervous breakdown. 26%, get this, never even take a business. And get this, 72% of business owners are ready to quit their business. And get this statistic, 62% at the end of the day have neck pain, 44% have strained eyes, and 38% of business owners report difficulty sleeping. So, that being said, there's a big challenge, and 89% of people who own a business lack the leverage of a qualified system. And we're going to go over that here. In fact, get this statistic, Vic. 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs who start a business will fail within 18 months, Forbes magazine. So I took a look at this statistic because numbers never lie. And Vic, I want to ask this question out there. Why do you think 8 out of 10 businesses fail? So the Small Business Association created a report. So I want to ask the question, why do you think most businesses fail? So let's go ahead and ask that question.
I'd say I want to hear some of the ideas from people or some of the thoughts from people here on the.
Let's ask.
By the way, people saying they would love to have your book. By the way, Dave, I'm looking at these comments.
Well, we'll definitely give some out during this training. I came here to serve, and I came here to give, and I came here to challenge you to step into your greatness.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be incredible stuff. I mean, if people can take these ideas, it would be awesome. Why do you guys think people fail? I mean, I got my thoughts. I think it's because lack of customers, man. I mean, at the end of the day, rule number 1 in business is to stay in business, right? No, rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. Stay in business, move your product, get the product moving, acquire customers, and grow. I mean, that's pretty much what I think.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, well, they don't have enough money, or leadership, or they don't have a strategy. Yeah. The number 1 reason why most businesses fail is because they can't get a customer. So one of the biggest things we're going to talk about today is how do you get a customer? And in fact, what does this cost people emotionally? So I see a lot of people that are frustrated in their business. I see people that are stressed out. Some people are angry. Some people are confused. Well, Dave and Vic, do I set up a membership? Do I write a book? Do I buy Infusionsoft? So many people are confused, and I see people are in doubt. Maybe I shouldn't have started this business. Maybe I should go back to my job. I see people that are burned out. So the solution, what is the solution? Well, the solution is the Success by Design presentation blueprint. And in fact, in a moment, we're going to walk through step by step this presentation blueprint that is actually right here behind me. And in fact, this presentation blueprint, Vic, has done over $1 billion in 43 different industries in 109 countries around the world. So we're going to break down how you can put this presentation blueprint into your business so that you can solve the biggest problem, which is how do you get a customer? Now, in a moment, there's 4 key elements to how do you write what I call your signature talk. In a moment, we're going to talk about the intro, how the intro is one of the most important things. Number 2, we're going to talk about the story. Write this down, how stories sell, facts tell. Yeah. Number 3, we're going to talk about the offer. And I'll tell you why you put the offer here. Number 4, we're going to talk about the body, which is where you're going to build value. You're going to use a strategy we call education-based marketing. And then the most important thing is the close. So we're going to go over that here in a moment. So you might be wondering, who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on myself. And I want to make sure that you know where you're getting this information of is somebody who's actually done what they say they're going to do. Meaning, Vic, I know you know this. If you're going to go to the gym to hire a coach to teach you how to lose weight, he better be in better shape than you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been talking about over and over again, man, to my people.
If you're going to listen to somebody who's going to teach you about creating wealth, they better have 10 times the wealth. So real quick, my name's Dave Van Hoos, a.k.a. I'm known as the Celebrity Speaker Coach. In fact, I own a company called Speaking Empire, and I've got clients all around the world in 109 countries. So right now, Vic, I've got one of my clients doing seminars in Australia. I'll know exactly how he's getting the people to his seminar, what his conversion rate. I have the conversion rate of Russia, Europe, all around the world. So what does this mean for the people here? So I've got all this feedback, and I've got the pulse on exactly, not in the United States, but all around the world of what's happening in the speaking info business. And I've got over 40,000 speakers in my Infusionsoft, and so in all different industries, Vic. In fact, some of you might know some of my speakers, and the big question I always ask people is, Vic, why do you think some of the top speakers in the world use Speaking Empire?
Because it works. I mean, the blueprint, the formula works, I'd say.
So if anybody is in the personal development space, I trained a lot of the personal development speakers. I work with Les Brown to help him sell more. So you know him. I used to follow a guy named Zig Ziglar on the Get Motivated circuit. I used to speak in front of 10 and 20,000 people, share the stage with presidents of the United States. I used to speak at Dan Kennedy's event. Some of you guys know the book, The Secret. A lot of the guys from The Secret have been to our speaker training. People like Tony Robbins. I actually trained Tony's son. People like Brian Tracy have been to our training. Jack Canfield, CEO. I actually wrote, if you ever see in that TV show Shark Tank, I actually wrote the presentation that Damon Johns, there's a company out in Utah. I wrote that presentation using this blueprint. Robert Kiyosaki, all kinds of people around the world. In fact, hi, my name. Some of you might know Robert Allen. And in fact, I got to speak on stage on the Get Motivated circuit with all these famous people. So Vic, I want to ask this question. Why do you think little old Dave Van Hoos got to speak with all these celebrities in this big stadium football arena?
You know, Dave, I talk about the this idea of becoming a specialist. You know, and I, you know, I mean, you're the guy that cracked the code and really took you know, you put your stake in the ground as somebody who is really good at a particular thing, which is, you know, training what you're training, and it gets results, and so that's why people are attracted to you.
Yeah, that's true. So I want everybody to write this down. Speaking is the most profitable skill in the world. In fact, I want you to understand this. Speaking is a learned skill set. Now think about this. Tony Robbins wasn't born with a microphone in his mouth, was he? So what I want everybody to understand is speaking is a system. And in fact, I want to share with everybody what I call speaking mechanics. Now, if I connect my dots backwards, Vic, as a professional football coach and trainer, I learned there's two types of athletes typically. Ones that have talent, ones that had mechanics. We would draft people in the NFL. Some of the guys would have massive talent. But talent can win you games. Mechanics win you championships. In fact, we saw two quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. One quarterback that was young that could jump out of the gym. Another guy, John Elway, not John Elway, but another quarterback who was older, and he had mechanics, right? And so we know that mechanics win championships. And one of the big things Vic I modeled, which was Ray Kroc, and he didn't build a people-dependent business. I want everybody to consider this a system-dependent business. So Vic, I had to create this system. Now, I want everybody to write this down. EPSTS. Go and write that down. EPSTS. I had to create a easy, predictable, and we'll talk in a moment why it needs to be predictable, scalable, trackable system. In fact, that's how I created the presentation blueprint, was an easy, predictable, scalable, trackable system. Now, I just want to go to the chat there, and I want to ask how many people have considered doing a webinar to get customers, or lunch and learns, or speaking to get customers. I just want to kind of go and see how many people are considering that, or how many of you are actually doing that right now.
Are you watching these comments, Dave?
It's not picking up on my phone, so you can kind of tell me what you're seeing.
Okay, let's see. How many of you guys are doing webinars right now? Here. About the 20-second delay here before the stream gets to them. Okay, me. Gina says, yep, me, but not now. Okay, Andres say, okay, Randy. A bunch of people are looking to do webinars or are doing webinars or presentations. Facebook Lives now is a big thing. Justin Varenja says Facebook Live. Sandra Watt says yes. Craig Crocker says yes. A whole bunch of people saying yes. Vernon says haven't done one yet. By the way, you guys, appreciate the shares. All you guys have shared. You will be getting something very, very special from us coming your way. We are, and I've been kind of hinting this over the last couple of streams. So those guys are, participating, engaged, and not just here to, do nothing. But listen, if you engage, you will be getting cool things from Vic. All right, doing Facebook, a lot of Facebook Lives, Dave. A lot of Facebook Lives, a lot of webinars and Facebook Live, seems like.
Let's take a look at something everybody could consider. Imagine and picture this. Instead of selling one-to-one or hiring a whole sales team, paying them big commissions and managing people, imagine this, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you had an automated webinar, a sales system that 24 hours a day would spin and spin and spin to get customers. So this is real quick what we call an automated webinar blueprint. So obviously what we want to do is we want to drive traffic using LinkedIn, Facebook, and affiliates into our opt-in page to register for our webinar. Then after they do that, we give them what we call an intensification sequence, and then we do the webinar presentation. And then at the end of it, they click one button, do the pre-registration page, and then the order page, and the money goes right in your bank account. So the cool thing about adding this to your business is it's going to give you freedom. And the cost of how to get a customer, instead of paying salespeople and spending so much time, the cost goes from here to here. So that way your business can be more profitable. So one of the things I want everybody to consider this year is really taking your sales and automating it online. Now, the most amazing thing about this presentation, or this blueprint here, is you can build a whole sales funnel. But if you don't have a converting webinar or a converting signature presentation, it doesn't matter, right, Vic?
So Dave, absolutely. So what you have on the screen here, this is, I'm wondering, right? So this is literally a system, if you will. This is a blueprint. This is a step-by-step, step here, step here, step here, follow the footsteps kind of blueprint that you have that's specifically for webinar, presenting on webinars online.
Yeah, Vic, I've written over 400 webinars for top people in the world, and that's how you found out. Maybe you found out who the top people were doing webinars, and you found out they were using my presentation blueprint. And so it's a great strategy. You can easily make 7 figures this year just by adding a webinar strategy to your business.
Love it.
And on our next training, I know we're going to do another training. We'll probably go over more of this blueprint, but for this training, what we really want to focus on is how do you write your presentation? Because you can build a webinar blueprint like this, but the most important thing is you've got to have a converting talk. So let's talk a little bit about persuasion influence. So now when you build a presentation, there's 5 key components. How many key components? 5, right? You've got the introduction to your presentation. Then you come into the story. Then you've got the offer, then you've got the body, and you've got the close. Now this is the mathematical equation of how do you build your signature talk. Now one of the things I want you to understand about persuasion influence. I've studied NLP, and I've been a master therapist for many years. And what I've learned, if you want to get transformation and change people, I just want to ask coaches this question. If you want somebody to change or help them overcome a fear and phobia, do you tell them what to do or help them originate for themselves or help them discover the truth? And so what I want to teach you is they call non-resistance. Because for me, when I started speaking, I didn't want to be a pushy salesman. I didn't want to force people into sales. What I wanted to do is a whole different technique where I took people through a process, down a path, So that way, at the end of my presentation, in their mind, they said, I want, I need it, and they shoot to the back. So this technique that I'm about to share with you isn't pushy sales. It's helping people discover the truth. Now, Vic, do you know what the definition of discover is?
I do not.
It means uncover what's already there.
Okay.
Is if you have something of value, the reason why people don't buy is because of fear. But what you're doing with this technology, because this is a technology, you're helping them discover, and they make the decision, not you. And this is a great way because then they won't walk to the back. They won't even run. They'll dance to buy your product or service from the front room on a webinar or when you're sitting down one-to-one. Does that making sense?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the introduction to your presentation. Now, the introduction to your presentation is one of the keys to your success. In fact, the sale happens within the first 1 minute of your talk. So that being said, you've got to make sure your introduction is perfect. So let's ask this question, Vic. Who in this Facebook group is going to be speaking at a conference, at a seminar, or speaking at a workshop, and they want me to show them one strategy right now that will double their sales, and they will be the best speaker, closer at that conference, and it has nothing to do with your product or your skill set as a speaker? I'm going to ask the question, who wants me to share with you one strategy right now that you can use?
Tell you what, if you guys are here present, okay, you're digging this, go ahead. I'm just looking at your comments here. Okay, go ahead and put a comment in. Say like I or something like that, or me. Okay, I'm looking at your comments and I see who's engaged, and I see a lot of you guys are in the 4% group. By the way, I'll tell you something we're bringing to the 4% group. A deeper dive into this talk tonight is going to be incredible. I'll tell you what we're doing here in a few minutes towards the end. Yes, please, Equibian says. A lot of people saying yes, 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 Dave. So you got a bunch of yeses here, man.
All right, so let's take an example. Let's just say this year I'm speaking at Dan Kennedy's event and other events.
Yep.
Let's just take an example. I'm speaking at Tony Robbins. So typically when you go to speak at a conference, you'll have an MC introduce you. Now, do you think he'll do a good job or a bad job? A bad job, right? So what I always do is find out who is the trusted advisor. So that being said, let's just say Tony Robbins, right? So Tony is their trusted leader. Mm-hmm. So when Tony speaks, they listen. So what I'll do is I'll find Tony and whoever the person is. I'll say, hey, Tony, would you mind introducing me from the stage? It'd mean a lot to me and my family, right? So what they typically say, yeah. So now here's the key. Now this is a very advanced technique, so I want you to open your mind up and see if you get this. Vic, we'll see if they get it. If they do, tell me that they get it. Mm-hmm. So in a moment, Tony will come and say, in a moment, I'm introducing Mr. Dave Van Hoos, and Dave has trained my son and all the top speakers in the world. And today, he wants to share with you not how to become a presenter or a professor, but his technology of how to become a presentainer. So let's give him a warm welcome here. So I want you to listen to me and watch me very closely. As soon as I come up on the stage, as soon as I get the handshake or hug, then the transition of power becomes me. So now I'm their trusted advisor. So when I speak, they listen.
They listen, yeah.
So in the presentation blueprint, which we're going over right now, which is right here, you've got to make sure that you get them to do the transfer of power. So let me pull this up so we can take a look at this blueprint a little bit closer here. So number one is the introduction. You've got to have the leader introduce you, and you've got to make sure you transfer the power. Is that making sense? All right, great. Let's go to number two. Now, when you do your presentation, most people want to get up on stage or on a webinar and talk at people. That's a bad strategy. It's kind of like a football coach talking to kids. That's a bad strategy. A better strategy would be to excite the imagination of the audience, bringing them into your conversation. So there's a lot of subconscious techniques that I teach at Presentainer Technology where you can easily grab the attention, excite the emotional mind, which is the subconscious mind of the mind, bringing them into your conversation. Is that making sense, Vic?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Now, the next thing is introducing what they call the yes state. All great successful salespeople know that 7 yeses equals a sale. Consider this. The audience can do one of 2 things. They can agree with you or they can disagree with you. So understand this. The very first sell of the presentation is getting the audience to agree with you. Understand this. Small commitments will equal the big commitment. So on a webinar, or if you're speaking, you've got to introduce the yes state and get them to engage with you. Making sense? Are you guys getting this? And would this work for you? That's 3 yeses.
Excited imagination, Terrell saying, love it, makes total sense. Yep, people getting it. Good stuff, man.
Awesome. Let's talk about the next thing, which is called framing. Now, framing is a very powerful NLP technique. What framing is this. There's 2 parts of the mind. We've got the conscious and we've got the subconscious mind. What you want to do is what they call set the pre-frame, or another word, an open loop. And basically what you're doing is you're telling the subconscious mind what it's about to experience. And whatever the mind thinks is going to happen, most likely will happen. So if you're doing webinars, I'm going to give you a ninja strategy. What happens when most people do webinars is they'll do a webinar, Vic, right? It'll drop off before the offer. So if you set the frame or the open loop correctly, like I'll show you and teach you, that 100% of the people will stay to the end because of the pre-frame and the framing that you put in your presentation. Is that making sense? I hope that makes sense.
See, these are things that can be so subtle that and so many people that don't even think about it just because they got their dollars in their head, like how much money can I make here? That they're just stuff like this, Dave, what you're talking about. This is like engages, creates engagement, like at the level that is just like beyond incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This technology that we're going through right now can take you and double your sales minimally. Instead of making $10,000 on a webinar, you made $50,000. Now let's talk about the next thing in the introduction, which is why your topic. One thing very important is you've got to make your presentation not about you, but about them. So you really got to ask the question, what's in it for them? Okay, so get them excited about the benefits of what you're talking about. Very important. People don't buy features. They don't even buy benefits. Write this down now. They buy the benefit of the benefit. Now, let's coming up here to the introduction is why now is the time. Because one of the things I want you to understand, if you're doing a presentation from a stage or from a webinar, if they don't buy at the end, they typically never buy. So in your presentation, you got to tell them why now is the time. Then we're going to come up to credibility, because when you're the expert or the authority, you get instant influence and instant power. So in the introduction, you want to do the introduction, grab the attention, introduce the yes state, set what they call your pre-frame, which we'll talk to you more in trainings, why your topic, why now, and credibility. Now, after that, now you're going to come into the story. Now, I want everybody to write this down and listen to me very closely. Everybody listen to me and stop. Write this down. Stories sell, facts tell. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think people buy your product or do they buy you? In fact, people don't buy your product, they buy you. So stop selling your product and start selling them on you. So I want everybody to write this down. Story is a time. If they don't like you and trust you, they're not going to buy from you. So the story is to build rapport at an emotional level, a deep level with them to connect with their heart. And that's why you're telling your story. Now, when you tell your story, there's a whole scientific system of how I engineer stories, but we don't have time for that today. But for now, what you want to do is you want to tell your story, and then you want to take them to a crash. And you want to take them to what we call a moment. And then from that, you want to have what I call a pivotal point. And then you want to take them the story up. And the story is engineered precisely. Now, Vic, I want to ask a question. I've got a Jedi ninja strategy. And I'm not sure if everybody is ready for an advanced strategy like this, but I've got one that's really cool. If people want me to share with them a really advanced strategy, I will. If not, we're going to go to the offer.
Well, let's see. Let's ask people. Let's ask the people. Well, you guys want to hear the ninja strategy, advanced ninja strategy? By you, people are getting it. Yep, they buy me, Lisa. Dave, like what you're talking about here, especially for those people who are building teams or building, downlines. I know there's a lot of my audience, they're into, building teams with network marketing companies and direct sales companies. Stuff like this is pure gold, man. I appreciate you sharing this. Share. Yeah, man. They want the advanced stuff. They want yeah.
I'm going to do a demonstration here. So can you see this product right here?
Dave, if you stop sharing your screen, they will see you full screen.
Okay.
And then you can go back to screen sharing.
Okay. So let's get this full experience.
There you go.
Okay. So can you see this box right here? Okay. So now let's say you're doing your story. Now, one of the things is you've got to use a technique where you're telling them your story. And I want you to watch my hands. And when you tell your story, you want to take them to a crash, to that moment. And one of the key things is you want to take them to that moment. And for me, when I used to do my old presentation, I'll say, I'll never forget this moment where I broke my back and I was paralyzed. And in that moment, in the hospital, I saw the doctor come in. I heard the beeping of the sound. I could smell the hospital. And I said to myself, man, I know I can do real estate. I know I can do real estate. In fact, I thought about, man, what if I can do real estate? And you know what's interesting? I took and I did my first real estate deal, and I made $42,000. Imagine that. How many of you would love to take a system, a process, and a formula so that you can quit your JOBs and get in your JOIs? Let me see your hands. So basically what I'm teaching you right here is that when you tell your story, you've got to anchor down your product or your service. So when you take it to that crash, to that moment, you've got to anchor down. It's a very, very advanced technique that I teach at my Presentainer school, where you got to anchor down your product or service. Making sense, Vic?
Absolutely. This is like what you just dropped like a nuke, man. This is crazy. I can't believe that you're like sharing this stuff on this live stream, because we'll do like a really, really, really deep dive into this kind of stuff and just really go psychological on this. At the 4%, for those guys who are 4% members, even if you are at a free level membership with the 4%, we'll really dive into this. But man, I appreciate it, Dave. This is really, really powerful stuff for those people that actually get it, because you got to listen and read between the lines to really, really understand some of this stuff that can just.
If people are liking this now, I saved the best for end. So in a moment, I'm going to talk to you now. When you tell the story, you want to take into that crash and that pivotal point. And remember, you want to anchor down your product. And then you want to go story up. Now, here's what you want to do. Most people wait to the end of the presentation. No. When you get to the offer, here's what I want you to do. Stop selling. Stop selling and start solving problems. Every human being goes from pain toward pleasure. So what you want to do is target the problem turn up the pain, and then offer them the solution, right? So in here, if you can see right here, we're down here, you want to target the problem, and you want to offer them a solution. Now, as you come down here to the body, which is up there, the body is where you want to build value, okay? And what you want to do when you build your presentation, what I call your signature talk, or your webinar talk, or your stadium pitch, what you want to do is you want to break down your teaching into 5 steps or 5 keys. Now, I've got an absolutely ninja Jedi strategy. So I want to ask this question. I want to see how informed our people are about persuasion influence. So, Vic, you know this. When you're trying to sell something, people have objections, right? They don't have the time. I don't have the money. So I want to ask this question. How do you overcome objections when you do your presentation? So I'm curious to ask that question. How do you overcome objections? So let's go to the chat and see what people are doing as a strategy. So what do you do and how do you overcome objections in your presentation? Think about that for a moment.
Let me see here. Let me take a look at. Address them ahead of time, Chuck is saying. Okay. Ashadi is saying, tell us, Dave, how do you overcome them? Add humor, Joshua is saying. Okay, I'm actually curious for you guys to share some of this. Show them love. Bring them up before they ask. Kevin Hughes saying, pure gold nuggets, Dave, you're dropping over here. Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Dave and Vic. If I can do it, anyone can. Henry says, get training. Okay, stay motivated, Gus is saying. I'm literally just reading down the comments here. Change to a positive.
So I want everybody to listen to me very closely, because if you don't overcome people's objections, they won't buy. So in my presentation blueprint, the best way to overcome objections, which is right here, the best way to overcome objections is through social proof stories, case studies. Making sense? I hope you're following on that. So what you want to do is, if you're doing a webinar or a presentation, you want to have 7 social proof stories that overcome the 7 biggest objections of why your audience doesn't buy. Following me on that? Okay, then you want to come up over here to show them the lifestyle, what they call future pace them, and show them what their life is going to be like and change. Then we're going to come over here. People don't buy the features. They don't buy the product. They buy the benefit of the benefit. Then we're going to come over here now to the close. Now, Vic, I want to ask this question. How many people have been teaching or speaking, and then you've seen other speakers, when they get to the close, and you can see them get uncomfortable, and the whole audience is like, oh my gosh, this guy's getting ready to close. It's like the most awkward energy.
Right.
The question I have is, how do you segue from the teaching to the close? I'm just curious to know, because I'm teaching you that just like in sports, if you swing the baseball bat or the golf club, effortlessly, the club should do all the work. There shouldn't have to be any pushing or pressure. This technology that I'm sharing with you is the club, and will do all the work. So how do you segment from teaching to close?
So what you're saying here, Dave, is they shouldn't try. They shouldn't really focus on it, if you will. It should be almost like subconscious.
Absolutely. When you do this presentation correctly, it's like, you know, like a professional athlete that effortlessly throws the ball, or a dancer or a skater. When you do this correctly, there shouldn't be any pushing. There shouldn't be any resistance. It should be effortless. That's what I want everybody to say. This system, when you follow it, the reason why it's the most incredible system on planet Earth is because I use non-resistance technology. where you're taking people down a path where people discover, which is uncover the truth, and they make the decision up in their mind. For any of you that do not like pushy sales or do not like sales, you're going to really want this system. So the question is, how do you go from teaching to close? I want everybody to write this down and listen to me very closely. And it's right here. The best way to segment to the close is to ask a question and for permission. Would it be okay with all of you if I shared how I can change your life? Would it be okay with you if I shared my product? Okay, great. Here it is. It should be that effortless. So now when you come to the most important thing, which is the close, and Vic, this is where a lot of people make mistakes, and I can already see we've already been on for almost an hour and a half. Can you believe time went by like this?
If you guys want more, actually, Dave, let me ask these guys here, because I know this is really late in some countries. We will be having a follow-up, a sequel to this, where they will be diving into a lot greater details, a lot of like really psychological and more like NLP type, almost NLP like stuff. If you guys are interested, let me know. We can break now, or we can go, or we can move on, and and see how far we can get through this, and then we can maybe do a sequel to it inside of the 4% for you guys. Henry says, this is insane. This is very good. Nicely, Larissa is saying. Antonio says, yes, please. More, please, over there saying more. Okay, so Dave, let's go on here for a few more minutes, see how far we can get through this, and then we'll go from there. This is good stuff, man.
One of the most important things is the close, and this is where so many people make mistakes. And the close should be effortless. And you want to make that segment to the close. You want to present your offer. You want to build massive value. And in fact, what you want to create is what I call an irresistible offer. And Vic, we want to create what we call some fast action bonuses. So in fact, what I want to do on the next training is I want to dive down even deeper. For me, this is to me beginner stuff. I love to go advanced and really take them down the path of persuasion and influence. So I really want to ask this quick question. I've got clients, and Vic, all around the world that are making 7 figures, 8 figures, and more. I want to ask a question. Who would like to be one of my next success stories? In fact, I'm curious, anybody interested in becoming a Top Gun speaker? I get, and my company, Speaking Empire, I get calls all the time of people looking for speakers, especially if you're in America. There's a lot of people that want you to speak overseas. So if you ever want to be an international speaker or speak on big stages, so I'm going to ask the question, who would like to be one of my next success stories and be one of the top speakers in the world, transforming the world and sharing your message and your passion to the world? I'm just curious, because I can make that happen like that.
Now, Dave, let me ask you a question, though, okay? And the reason I'm asking is because I'm an advocate for beginners, like total beginners, right? So I might say, you know what, dude, first of all, this material is mind-blowing. I mean, you're literally dropping like not even like golden nuggets. You're literally dropping like golden like bars, And so let me ask you this. If I'm somebody who's just starting in this industry, right? Perhaps I don't have a lot of experience yet. I haven't trained, John Assaraf's or Les Brown's of the world, right? But maybe I'm a part of a group. Maybe I can leverage somebody else's system or a team, you know what I mean? Or my mentor's credibility. Because this is, you guys are listening to this, pay attention, because you don't, like what he is saying here, you can spin this in a way that can really catapult your success level to the levels that you cannot even imagine if you just play your cards right, as I like to say, right? Does that make sense, Dave? So if somebody's like a 4%, right? And we have, Dave and Who's is part of, a training faculty here within the 4%, for example, right? So somebody is talking and they say, you know what? Would you like to be this success story, right? Or would you like us, instead of saying me help you, What if they said, would you like us to help? Now you're just leveraging the credibility of the group, the credibility of other experts. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Dave?
Absolutely. So no matter where you're at, if you're just a beginner and you want to do lunch and learns or speak at local conferences or speak at big conferences or around the world, you know, we can absolutely show you and teach you that speaking is a system and that anybody can do it using this blueprint. Absolutely. So I want to tell you this, you know, Vic, we don't want to work with everybody. You know, obviously, you know, my calendar, I'm booked up for sometimes months, if not years. So I don't want to work with everybody. In fact, people call me all the time, Dave, will you work with me? The answer is no. And I don't want to work with everybody. And it's because I have a certain type of person that I'm looking for. For me, I'm looking for somebody who, one, is integrity, and one, who is coachable, two, who wants to make the world a better place and is connected to God and to making the world a better place. And so to me, I don't want to work with everybody. And you know that, Vic. And so we'll be talking to some of you, you know, on our next training of how I can plug you into the speaking circuit and get your message out to the world. Now, before I do that, how many of you feel like this? Right?
Dude, I don't know. You got some good pictures here.
We have to have some. Is it okay if we have some fun? So I know some of you are like this, but one of the beautiful things that I know, Vic, you're going to be talking about is that don't worry where you're at. I'll show you and teach you how simple, how easy it can be, and what we can do to support you and help you. And the next training, we're going to go even more advanced. So that being said, they really got three choices. They can listen to us and do nothing and get no results, right? Two, they can try to figure this out the hard way. Or three, we can show them how we can do it with them. So for those of you guys, you know, we can show you and teach you of how easy this can be and how you can live your dreams, right, Vic?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So that being said, man, our time is, we've gone an hour and a half already. Our time is up.
Here's what I'd like to say. Dave, if you want to come on the back on the video here so we can both be on the screen here. I'd like to see our people as we're hanging out here. Let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Beam, shiki, boom, bada, boom. Hey, everybody. Okay, so I'm looking at your comments here on my phone. This is incredible to see all of this. Okay, so Dave, one of the things that we're doing, okay, first of all, what do you guys think of this content, right? And this is just the beginning. I mean, this is just the beginning. The whole presentation, we will be diving into the blueprint, into that little molecular structure, you know, the molecules, if you will, on that chart. We'll be diving into that in great detail and really go under the hood of that stuff. Hold on a sec. I'm getting my earpieces here, so actually you hear Dave. You guys, here's the thing. Dave, here's what we're doing with and you know this, I told you this, right? So there are 8 major key areas of life, right? That when a human takes care of those, they'll have an incredible life. Like, not just like mediocre, just get by type, you know, let's hope, you know, we live and survive today and go to bed and, you know, hopefully we get rested a little bit and wake up tomorrow to do the same again, right? I'm talking about like thriving, and that's really what we're on a mission of, as a 4%, hence the 4%. You know, for those of you guys who have no idea what the 4% is the 80-20 rule or the 80-20 principle, but there is the 80-20 in the top 20. You know, that makes it the 4%. It's not just like made up number, it's actually backed by statistical data. So we wanted to be that. We wanted to inspire people to be a 4%er, not just in business. Obviously, business is one of those areas in life that you need to become really good at. But here's the thing, Dave. So in business, there are subcategories. There is a category, how do you structure a successful business? Well, you got to understand, in our space, let's say internet marketers, right? You got to understand traffic generation, capture, build a list. Then you got to understand how to communicate with your list to influence them, which is the stuff that we're talking about here, and then converting them into sales, right? And then long-term, lifelong fans and customers. So different sections. This section, you guys, that we're bringing to the 4% group, and I told you what we wanted to do is literally seek out the world's best, not somebody who's just like, you know, heard about this or read a book on it. Literally the experts on the topic, authority experts and celebrities, and Dave Van Hoos, you know, is the world's best at this kind of stuff. And so we're going to be bringing this level of training in great detail into the 4% starting next week. For those of you guys, even if you are a free member at the 4% group, you will have access to the training that we're going to be doing, a sequel to this presentation. If you are a 4% group member, there is nothing you have to do. Sometime within about a week or so, we have a sequel to this training coming up. If you're watching this, if you're not a member of the 4%, you would like to join and become a member, and check us out, see if it's going to help you, you can create a free account. The link can be found somewhere, hopefully around this video description or something like that, or maybe below this video. You can check us out. And then what we wanted to do is, Dave, we have a conference coming up here, right? At the time of us, you know, doing this live here, we have a conference coming up very, you know, not too far from now. And you're going to be there. You're going to be at the conference. So a lot of people I know wanted to meet you in person, and will they have that opportunity there?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be doing an amazing conference in Orlando, and we're going to be walking through step by step this blueprint. We're going to go over advanced NLP, persuasion, influence, and it's going to be the most incredible event of the year. So
yeah. What I wanted you guys to there's a couple things, okay? So we can either, we can do a couple things here. The sequel we're going to do, okay, we are going to make that available to everybody regardless of which level you are at the 4%, okay? So if you're excited about that, let me know if you're excited about that. We wanted to break the rules. We wanted to set a new standard. We wanted to set a new bar. We wanted to raise the bar. And we wanted to blow the doors off of in terms of value that we're bringing to the marketplace. And hopefully you got some value from it, you know, from today's training. Now, it's not going to cost you a dime to become a member of the 4%. Get the sequel, get, you know, Operation 100K, get all the other cool stuff that we have coming up, and see if this is something that you would like to. This is something that you, Dave, your video disappeared. I'm not sure if you got disconnected or what. Look, if your goal is to strive and reach higher, right? If your goal is to make your difference, we say, Dave, here at the 4%, our motto is, I cannot teach you how to do something unless I've done it myself. This is authenticity. This is being genuine. This is just leading by example, right? And so we wanted to be the voice, not the echo of the industry. And so I'm very, very excited to, you know, bring your material, your trainings, and appreciate you willing, you know, obviously you resonate. Dave, what do you think about the 4%, by the way? You know, I shared with you the vision of what we do here. What are your thoughts about what we do and obviously your role and what you contribute into the group and what you bring to the table here for everybody? What are your thoughts on that? Curious.
You know, what's interesting, Vic, is that when I was young, my grandpa worked 42 years with Henry Ford on the assembly line, 12 hours a day, $1 a day, through the Great Wars. And he had a very challenging time. And back then, we should be absolute in humbleness and gratitude because the work conditions back then were lethal. People would die at work. I mean, the conditions were so bad. So for me, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and I'll never forget this story. My grandpa, I'm sitting in his car, and my grandpa goes, grandson, he says, you know, sonny boy, if you're going to do something, do it big or don't do it at all. Mm. And that hit with me. And so life, play to win or don't play at all. You know, I want to challenge you to step into your greatness, into your power. Very few people have the courage. Very people have what it takes to get to that next level. And just like Pareto's principle, numbers never lie. The 20% of the 20%, the 4%ers. The 4%ers make up to 90% more income. They live in a bigger house, have more freedom, more time, and they have a better life. And you know what the sad thing is to go from that level to the 4% is small little inches and tweaks. It's not a big thing. And that's why it's mission critical to join Vic, join us experts to get yourself to the 4% because you want to model success. And I'm here to tell you, Vic is the real deal. He's bringing me on. He's bringing experts on that are the real deal. And very few people have that honesty and integrity to do that. And this is a great opportunity for any of you that really don't want to live ordinary, that want to live extraordinary life. And that's what your offering is hey, why not play to win? Why not live extraordinary? Why should you suffer? Why should you be paycheck to paycheck? Let's have a glorious, amazing experience on this planet. And that's at the end of the day what it's all about.
If you, if somebody can be number one, why not you, right? I mean, literally, if I have like 50 people following me, or 5 people following me that are on my list, or 500,000 people on my list, right? That's my audience. And so I need to strive to be number one in their mind. So when they think about, who do I go for advice in this area? You should be the guy that they're thinking about, right? If you're like number 2 or number 3, it's almost like doesn't matter because you become just like everybody else. How do you become number one is you decide to be number one, right? And then you strive to accumulate and acquire the skills necessary, you know, in the market that you're serving for what you're doing to literally be that person that they think about. And it's doable. It's doable for everybody. So that's kind of our message, our challenge to the world, right? That challenge to the people that we serve is to strive for that excellence, become 4%. So Dave, my goodness, man, over an hour and a half here, and time just, you know, flew by. I appreciate you guys. Listen, everybody, if you like this, okay, tell me honestly. Look, if you think this is great stuff, if you want to learn more about this, tell me in the comments here. We will be going over this. And if you, again, if you're engaging at the level of like sharing, because right now we're doing this, okay, we're expanding, okay. So if you again, there is nothing for you to buy. It's absolutely, you know, free information for you that others pay thousands of dollars for, thousands for. My hope and desire, okay, is that you don't take. A lot of people don't value stuff that's free, okay, and it's a big mistake. Some things that we're getting free, like try to take away air. I mean, you don't pay for air, but try to live without air. You know what I mean? See, a lot of stuff we take for granted because it's free. Right? So this information that you got tonight, it's free, it's powerful, it's nuclear, okay, when applied properly. And it's dangerous when applied, you know, when given into the wrong hands. So use it wisely. If you want to do a sequel on it, if you will participate, we're going to, you know, I'm going to ask you to cross the line and join the vision, join the 4%. You can become a member for free. Check it out. If you like it, you can ascend with us. There is a free level and there is a pro level that we have in the 4%. Being 100% transparent with you, we're not, you know, this is not a bait and switch type deal. We are on a mission to change this space and create as many of those 4%ers as possible. Okay, you can take the information, run with it, or you can become part of the vision and help us expand. And that's where you really take things to the next level. Dave. Appreciate you, bro. Again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your expertise. Any other closing comments you might have, or anything that you might want to say? You know, maybe give them a little heads up or what's coming up. You know, in this sequel that we're going to do together here within about next week. I think we can do this. You know, what can they expect and that kind of stuff.
Well, what I want to challenge everybody to be is a champion. You know, if you've been an athlete, you know, then you know you want to be a champion, and that's what we want. We want you to be a 4% champion. This was just, if you like this, I saved the best for the second training. You know, this was just laying the foundation. We're going to dive deep into NLP. I'm going to talk to you about the mindset of a buyer. We're going to talk about scotomas, presuppositions, leading and pacing, anchoring. We're going to dive down into this blueprint, and I'm going to share with you some things that nobody on planet Earth knows. And the only reason I know is because I have written all these presentations, and I've never, ever shared this information before. And I want to get it out. Why? Because I want to create a global movement. I don't believe the world is going to get fixed in Washington. It's leaders, it's coaches, it's entrepreneurs that are going to make the world a better place. And that's my passion, and that's what I want for you. The biggest challenge is most people can't run a successful business, so we've got to help you so that you can help the world. And that's what it's all about, Vic.
Love it, brother. Love it. People are pumped. People are looking forward to the sequel of it, which we will do inside the members area of the 4% group, you guys. You can create a free account if you want to. If you don't want to, do whatever you think is good for you, man. That's all at the end of the day. Look, it's your life, it's your business. You do whatever you think is good for you. We want to hear, we're here to serve you. The book, Dave, the book, man, the book. How do they get the book, bro?
Well, you got to come up with some contest. Here's what I've got. I've got probably, we got 20 books. So here's what we'll do, Vic. The first 20 people that register for your 4% club, I'll bonus in my book as a free gift because I love to reward action takers to serve you because I believe in what you're doing. So anybody right now that gets into Vic's 4%ers that actually becomes a paid member, I'll get with Vic and they can make sure they get this book.
We have a lot of members of the 4%. And you guys, we're literally like, as you can see here, we don't like, we wanted to get on here. We did not have like, okay, let's do this agenda and let's get people. Dave just decided to give this book on a spot, like just like that, right? So we didn't even have like, okay, what do you do to get it? Here's what I'll do. Okay, here's what I'll do. Anybody that shared this stream, I'm gonna put Paul is watching this. Paul, if you can make a note. Paul's from our office. Paul, anybody that shared this stream by midnight tonight, okay, it's 9:40 Central right now, by midnight Central time, if you share this stream, you will get this book. I'll buy this book from Dave. I'll buy the book from you, okay, and we'll have them we'll contact them. We'll give it to them. Second thing is, all of the pro level members of the 4% group, you guys, we'll go ahead and buy from, as a thank you from the 4%, we'll go ahead and buy the book for you from Dave. Dave, we'll just boost your sales up a little bit here for you, man, brother. I know your stuff is awesome. We'll sponsor it and we'll hook you up. How's that for a deal? Hey, if I don't see some hearts with that, yeah, I don't know what you're smoking, man. You guys.
This book will change your life.
Yeah.
Sell The Forbidden Secrets to Mass Persuasion will be the best book you ever read on sales and persuasion influence. This book is absolutely incredible, and you can't get it anywhere.
Yep.
This underground book, it is an absolutely game changer, and the benefits of this book is you'll sell more, you'll be able to connect better, you'll have a system and a process, and it's absolutely incredible, this book. So I'm very honored that we're going to be offering it up to entrepreneurs to help them.
Sweet.
Yes.
Everybody, appreciate you. Appreciate your dream. Appreciate where you're going. And if you are a true entrepreneur, think 10 steps ahead. If you are just beginning right now, don't limit yourself to just seeing this far. You see what I'm saying? Have a high beam vision. Look forward. Even if you don't know how you're gonna get there, don't limit yourself, man. Don't limit yourself to this box and say, okay, my goodness, I just want $500 a month. If somebody can get 500,000, why not you? Think bigger. Go bigger. Go broader. Stretch your vision. Associate with people that will stretch you and make you grow, okay? Become better every day because you know what? You can. If somebody else can, you can. That's my message. That will always be my message. And I'm here to challenge you, okay? If you're ready to step up, man, it's possible for you. It's possible for us. It's possible for everybody. Dave Van Hoos, you're the man. Appreciate you, bro, one more time. Thank you for jumping on, and we'll see you guys in the sequel with Dave Van Hoos. God bless. Have fun. Bye-bye.